Good morning, Lourdes.
Good morning, Maria. I'm having some struggles this morning. There's a bee in the room, so um, you know, if I go off camera, you'll know why.
Flailing off camera.
Say that again.
Flailing off camera.
So welcome back to Coaching Conversations. I'm Lourdes.
And I'm Maria. And if you're new here, we're two coaches who mix honest work with emotional wisdom to help you stop doubting yourself and start living from your inner truth.
Yeah, and if you've been feeling like you're not doing enough, being enough, or getting enough recognition, this conversation is going to speak to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're today we're talking about that habit so many of us fall into, tying our worth to praise, and it's exhausting. And we're going to help you break that cycle, right? So, let's start with the real tough question, right? Are you feeling good about yourself when someone else notices what you've done? Because if you answer yes, I promise you, you're not alone. So many of us were raised on external validation, grades, gold stars, performance reviews, like on social media. And I think it's probably even worse now than when I was younger. And it conditions us to constantly chase that approval like it's oxygen.
Yeah, like, you know, our whole being depends on it, right? But
Mhm.
here's the truth. If your value rises and falls based on praise, you'll always feel unstable because the second someone doesn't acknowledge you, you'll start shrinking. And what we want to tell you is this: the things that are truly good, truly beautiful, truly powerful don't become more so when they're praised. They just are.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, a flower doesn't stop blooming because no one clapped. Gold doesn't stop being valuable when it's ignored, and your kindness doesn't vanish when it's unnoticed.
Yeah, and let's delve a little deeper because praise isn't bad, right?
Mhm.
But needing it, relying on it, that's where we lose ourselves. It's one thing to feel seen, it's another to need to be seen in order to feel like you matter.
Right. I mean, the power move here is learning how to internally validate, to know who you are without needing a mirror to reflect it back. And that starts with recognizing that the qualities you admire, truth, love, generosity, those things don't disappear when they're ignored. They're whole without any applause.
Right. And what this means is you can be whole without applause too, right? So let's get practical because this isn't just about a mindset shift, it's a daily practice. So, what does that look like?
Well, the first thing is, before you ask yourself, would I still do this if no one knew I did it? And if the answer is yes, that's your power move.
Yeah, it's about living in alignment with your true self, with your true values. And then a second thing is to start catching those moments when you're fishing for approval and pause and say to yourself, my value isn't up for debate today, and repeat it until it sticks. And then another is do one thing a day for yourself, not to post, not to get credit, not for accolades, just because it aligns with who you are. And make that your anchor.
Right. And, celebrate yourself internally after you follow through on something hard or you're kind or you're honest. Take a second and say, that was me, that was mine. And I just want to interject here that, we've all heard that many of us don't even like ourselves. And if you think about how you're trying to get approval from people that don't even approve of themselves, it's like an impossibility. The approval starts with you approving yourself, you validating yourself. And once you get to a point where you cultivate things that you like about yourself, you're not going to need that external validation, because the validation that you've been seeking is your own validation. The thing that you've been missing is you.
Yeah, and that's really key. And you know, I'll be honest, this is something that I struggled with for a long time.
Mhm.
Caring about other people's opinions, their, their approval, when really, like Maria just said, it's cultivating your own sense of approval, liking yourself, believing in yourself, and also just letting go of the externals and living in alignment with your own truth, your own values. It's an inside job. So if you're, kind of stuck in this pattern of looking for outside approval, turn that lens inwards and focus on your own approval, your own opinion. Why should other people's opinions be more valuable to you than your own?
Mhm. Right.
So, I mean, Maria and I have seen this with our clients. And like I said, this is something that I've worked on personally, and it's part of why I do the work that I do, to shrink people's suffering, because quite honestly, I suffered for too long. So when this shift lands, you stop over explaining, you stop asking for permission, and you stop performing, and you start owning your value quietly, powerfully. You start doing things for their own sake, not for someone's reaction.
Right. And that's the transformation, going from chasing validation to standing rooted in your truth. And the first thing is knowing your truth. Know who you want to be for yourself, because the key is, who are you for yourself? And what surprises most people is that the peace they were chasing through praise, it's been available all along inside them. Just like Lourdes said, it's an inside job. You have to start looking inside, and they weren't looking there.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. So when you stop performing, you actually start connecting more authentically. People feel your confidence, but more importantly, you do. And that's what people really want at the end of the day: inner peace, clarity, and confidence. That's not conditional.
Right. And once you get beyond that, you can go to a realization, right? That what if your worth has nothing to do with who notices you? What if your kindness, your creativity, your truth is already complete, just like a flower that blooms whether it's seen or not?
Yeah, let that question shift how you show up this week. Let it help you reclaim your energy and your focus, because you don't need the world's applause to keep being you. You just need to remember that's what's real. That what's real doesn't rely on recognition.
Right. Well, thank you for being with us today. Keep showing up for yourself quietly, boldly, and on your own terms. You've got this. And we'll be right here walking beside you.
Thanks for tuning in.